everybody! I want to make this video to talk about soul contracts, just from my personal perspective. So you have to see that as one life, in one life, through the experience of a lifetime, there are so many choices, so many opportunities, so many things that you can experience. One lifetime is 10,000 lifetimes. One lifetime is 8 billion lifetimes. One lifetime is every human being on this planet working in oneness. Or it's one soul, one individual soul leading one individual life. The human consciousness comprehends only so much. The vast infinite universe, it's so infinite. The possibilities are endless. When it comes to soul contracts, so many people feel like everything is preordained, everything is already decided, it was meant to be. On one level, yes, everything was meant to be because everything is based on a choice. So some of the things in your life, you didn't even realize that you chose that for yourself. You choose every single thing in your life, and the timelines and possibilities for a single soul living a single lifetime is endless. Endless potentials. So in the end, was it a soul contract or was it your choice? In the vast array of endless potentials of what you could have done, of what you could have experienced, in those endless potentials, there is terror and there is peace. There is chaos and there is love. Every human being can choose to be chaos or they can choose to be love. Is it their soul contract to be chaos? Every soul has the ability to choose chaos or to choose love at any time. Bullies can turn into angels and angels can turn into bullies in a single lifetime. Anything can happen. So you have a topic here that's called suicide as a soul contract. What my perception is of a soul contract is you choose your parents. You come in and you already have an understanding of how that relationship is going to develop your experience. You already have an understanding of how your school system, how the people, the other souls you're incarnating with are going to develop your experience. You can choose to feel this big by the people around you, or you can choose to say, I don't give a fuck. The way you want to talk to me or treat me, I am love, and you are still learning about love. Most kids don't know how to do that. Most kids just feel vulnerable all the time. They just want to live in a loving world. They want to do right by their parents. And so they don't know how to feel empowered, especially in a world that is so vulnerable within itself and doesn't feel even empowered within itself. It feels afraid. The whole world is full of fear. The whole world is full of fear. And people either become vulnerable to it, or they become depressed within it, or they become withdrawn. They use this to their advantage. Everybody is afraid of what I can do. I'm not afraid. I'm going to be number one. I'm going to be Mr. Awesome. So people feel the energy, are raised by the energy, the frequency of society, and they either succumb to vulnerability or they overcome their vulnerabilities. They can overcome their vulnerabilities so hard that they grow an ego bigger than the planet. Anything is possible. You choose how you are going to behave in the energy itself. We're not swimming here in a pond of oblivion that we're just forced to deal with whatever comes next. You can manifest. You can choose. You can decide. If you want to know how to manifest abundance, how the hell are you going to just say, well, that was in my soul contract that I would just manifest abundance? Or maybe you just manifested it because your soul chose to discover this instead of choosing to discover how terrible depression can be. You can choose if you want to manifest joy and love and financial wealth. You can choose whether or not you want to succumb to grief and challenge and end up on the verge of suicide and giving up. Was it a soul contract or was it your choice in a timeline full of infinite possibilities? remember there's infinite possibilities. Or are there just one? There's just one possibility. And that's just your life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. How does a human being even begin to skim the surface of a topic like this? It's easy to want to just say soul contracts are, they're just easy to define. As a psychic, I do run into scenarios where I feel a very large beep going on, that this was a huge part of the learning of your soul to have that experience. And you either choose to succumb to the experience or you choose to overcome the experience. So depending on what you're ready for as a soul, you could get swept under the rug or you can overcome it. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Again, this is one of the most complicated conversations. I'm going to pause and I'm going to talk to my spirit guides for a moment about this. I'm asking them, so the conversation is all energetic. So how do I ask them? I just send them energy. The energy sounds like this question. The question is approximately, what specific learning can I share about soul contracts that would make a difference in people's lives? And I also send the energy that says, why am I making this video in the first place? And I would like to have an answer that is intertwined with both of those energetic frequencies in order to share a message that can help people. Spirit says, so you're choosing to take a side. The side that is people have a choice. The soul has a choice. They say this conversation has two sides of a coin with the human race. One side is everything is predetermined. The other side is the soul has a choice. You are saying the soul has a choice, but there are some parts of that experience that are predetermined. Is that what you're saying? Even still, I feel that the predetermined choices are also related to other choices. The soul was choosing all along, even in other lifetimes, emitting vibrations and frequencies of I hate or I love that manifested these movements and moments of challenge. So they feel predetermined, but the reality is they were always a choice all along. They say, so suicide then too is a choice, or was it predetermined? If we are talking about the scenario of killing yourself as a soul contract, is it a choice, or was it predetermined? I say it was a choice. The soul came to a point where it could choose to continue with the life or choose to end the life. They're saying, what is the value of this conversation? Is it in the soul's choice or is it in what happens in conjunction with the choice? They're showing me human beings living their life based on the experience of a predetermined pathway. There is some understanding as to why that is part of the conversation, as when we look at time, there is no such thing as past, present, or future. There's only the now moment. When we look at a soul incarnation cycle, the soul enters into a timeline of like 10,000 lifetimes, which is done and over with within a split second. What would be to a human being a split second? But all the while, time can be expanded, it can be explored, it can be endured. It can be the illusion, the gift of time as the illusion now allows for the soul to study, like in a college, like in a high school, like in the library. Instead of opening the book, the soul enters into the incarnate state in order to learn about itself, in order to learn about love and chaos, in order to learn about all these subject matters. How is the spirit guide enter into each individual lifetime if the lifetime is there and done with in 10,000 lifetimes are there and done with in a split second? You're saying now that time can be, infinite time can be a single moment. So if infinite time is a single moment, the soul has already lived all of its lifetimes already, but yet is still experiencing its lifetimes, is still a part of every single timeline it's ever explored. So even in this conscious moment that you call the present, you still are enduring the conscious moments of past and future all simultaneously. Now let's talk about soul contracts again. Is it a predetermined thing? A life is a predetermined life, or is it soul choice? What is it? Is it the choice of the individual, or is it predetermined? So it was already known that you would commit suicide because the after lifetimes were already predetermined based on a timeline that instantaneously happened. Or maybe not. Or maybe the soul is given opportunities to choose its own learning. If it will become vulnerable to the learning or if it will overcome the vulnerability in the school of incarnation, in the college. So you take a human being who takes a class that's too hard for them. Are they going to keep studying or are they going to drop the class? Is the soul going to keep studying or is the soul going to drop out? What does a student get for dropping out of college? They get an F. What does the soul get for dropping out of a lifetime? You decide. It's your choice what you want to believe. They're showing me moments in my life where I had asked them for help and they would not help me. They could not help me. They couldn't say a single thing to help me because I had to choose to either react negatively or react positively. And they were not going to influence that decision. So even as a psychic, even as this type of person that I am, my spirit guides will go mute on me at moments where it is for my soul to choose what the learning will be. You see what I'm saying? And were hard times. Those were very hard moments. And those moments were brought on by other moments that instigated them. Spiritual experiences. Certain interactions that manifested other things to manifest in my life. I'm not going to go into detail on what those are. But the learning was extremely hard for me. And I had nobody there to help me. I had to figure it out all by myself. And every single part of the movement into that bucket of challenge that actually happened in March was all drawn back to a timeline of me choosing or not choosing something. And then it ended up in this experience, which I actually was part of the huge part of my growth. If I didn't make the choice that I made on my own, I don't know who I would be right now speaking to you. I would be a different version of myself, a different timeline of myself speaking to you. I would be a more vulnerable timeline of myself speaking to you. And I overcame the experience, so now I'm a more empowered version of myself speaking to you. That's the whole part about spiritual speakers. How vulnerable are they within themselves, and how empowered are they within themselves in their own life journey? Are they working on healing themselves, or are they just sloughing it off and just not really thinking through what they are saying or what they are doing as a gift of transforming the human race over the next thousands and thousands of years of time? Or do they just care about money? You see what I mean? This is all part of a timeline of choices. So in the end, you choose, and then you receive the frequency of learning associated with the choice. So you drop out of class, what happens next? Either you drop out of school entirely or you take an easier class. But eventually those choices will decide other things that happen in the future part of your life. And we're not talking about just a few things. Life is full of thousands of choices every single day, thousands of choices every single day. So what is a soul contract? It's made up of infinite numbers of timelines and possibilities and reflections of self, infinitely defining itself and redefining itself in an infinite universe where there is no past, present, or future. There is no beginning and there is no end. And yet all timelines are taking place simultaneously. So how is Abby supposed to make a video to talk about soul contracts when this is the reality that we're working with here? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Swear to God, I'm done saying that. All right, this is the end of the conversation. I hope this video has been enlightening. I hope this gives you something to think about. Thank you for taking the time to explore this message with me. In the end, what is the answer? We live in an infinite universe. We're human beings living in an infinite universe. Choose to be happy. Choose to thrive. Choose to love. Choose to override the frequencies of grief and sadness and terror and weakness. Choose to feel empowered because you are a powerful, beautiful, amazing soul. Perhaps this video is going to influence you to make a choice in your infinite timeline. A choice that will influence you to do something differently today than you would have done if you didn't watch this video. Now this video becomes the opportunity for a choice in your life. Now Spirit has given you a gift on your college, your soul library, your soul study journey. Spirit has implanted, Spirit has manifested a physical gift into your life. And now Spirit is the one asking you how you will choose to go forward from here. What does this message mean to you, and how will you choose to take in this message and the scheme of your college life experience as yourself in this now moment? Now the ball is in your court. So that's it. That's all I have to say. So thank you for watching my video. If you're interested in exploring a psychic service with me, please visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. I wish you all a wonderful day.